Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the third NIH Pain Consortium Grant Mechanism webinar series. The goal of this webinar series is to inform the pain research community of funding opportunities and other resources provided by the NIH. Each webinar will cover information on specific types of grant mechanisms at individual career stages. Today's main topic is early career grants. Next slide. Some quick reminders, this meeting is being recorded. To ask a question, please either type a comment into the Q&A box or use the raise your hand function in Zoom. And please feel free to type a comment during the presentations. We will activate the raise your hand function in Zoom when the Q&A session begins. Next slide. Please note our upcoming webinars. Please feel free to register for the webinars you're interested in joining. Next slide. And the webinars will be recorded, and after each one concludes, it'll be posted on the NIH Pain Consortium website for those who are unable to participate live or for future reference. Recordings of the webinars will be posted on the NIH Pain Consortium website approximately 2 weeks after the recording. Next slide. We have a wonderful group of speakers for today's webinar. I'm going to briefly introduce them. The first is Walter Korschetz. He's the director of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke and the chair of the Pain Consortium Executive Committee. He'll be giving a brief introduction. Dr. Roger Sorensen will provide an overview of the grants that will be discussed today, the K02, the K08, and the K99/R00. And Dr. Sorensen is the branch chief of the Integrative Neuroscience branch at the National Institute of Drug Abuse. Dr. Erica Boone is the director of the Division of Loan Repayment, and she'll provide a brief presentation on loan repayments. And Dr. Michelle Jones-London is the chief of the Office of Programs to Enhance Neuroscience Workforce Diversity at NINDS. And she'll be providing a brief presentation on workforce diversity. After all of the speakers present, we'll open the floor for 35 minutes of question and answers. And with that, we'll get started. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dr. Walter Korschetz, the director of the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, and I've had the great pleasure of working with the Pain Consortium since I came to NIH in 2007. The Pain Consortium is a group that represents all the institutes across NIH with interest in trying to reduce the suffering due to pain. And as you can imagine, whether it's gastrointestinal pain, NIDDK, cancer pain, neuralgia from NINDS, the serious pain that comes from musculoskeletal disease that the National Institute of Arthritis and Musculoskeletal Skin Diseases covers. Pretty much all the institutes have equities in this area. And the Pain Consortium works together to try to advance research. The purpose of the webinars that we hope you benefit from are really to try and build an even more powerful research community in pain research. And so in the webinars, there'll be discussions on nitty-gritty things like how to access NIH resources for your research in pain, whether it be clinical or basic science. I have to apologize that accessing the resources in NIH is not so simple. There are lots of forms to fill out. You have to know how to write grants, what's the structure of a grant, how they're reviewed. And these are the kind of things that we hope to be able to teach you in these webinars. And the purpose is to enable you to do your science. We're interested in advancing the science. That's our primary goal. And that's the purpose of these webinars. I do want to end by saying that we're in a very unique time with regard to pain research. As hopefully everyone knows, Congress has appropriated about $250 million a year for the study of pain as it can lead to a reduction in the opioid crisis and overdose deaths. So the name of the initiative is HEAL, Helping to End Addiction Long Term. That will not be possible unless we develop better non-addictive pain therapeutics. And we have unique resources now that we did not have before to apply to the pain field. This includes particularly filling in gaps. We have funding for developing biomarkers that can be used in phase 2 trials to know whether an intervention is actually affecting the biology of a particular pain disorder. We have a platform that's been set up outside through a contract mechanism where you can bring your therapeutic agent in and have it tested free of charge in multiple different animal models of pain. We have a clinical trial network that will do phase 2 trials in pain called EPICnet. We have numerous comparative effectiveness studies and what are the best practices for treating different pain disorders. Some of these are very pragmatic trials in healthcare settings called the PRISM network. Some of them are mostly at university settings, looking at different levels of effectiveness in what's called the Effectiveness Research Network, the EARN network. So it really is an amazing time to be entering into the pain research field. And so we very much hope that the webinars that are going to be put out for you help you to really achieve your goals in improving pain science. So thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks.
Okay, well, welcome to the next installment of the NIH Pain Consortium webinar series. My name is Roger Sorensen. I'm a branch chief within the Division of Neuroscience and Behavior at the National Institute of Drug Abuse, otherwise known as NIDA. And I'm here to talk about, the title is the Early Career Grants. Maybe a little bit of misnomer. I'm going to focus on Career Development Awards. I know that there's been a previous session discussing some other of the Career Development Awards. The outline of my talk is, first, I want to just talk about why you should contact a program official. This is very important for your career. Next, I'm going to go over, as I said, several Career Development Awards, the K99 ROO, the K08, and the K02. And then we'll talk about some little tips on preparing applications to these grant mechanisms. So let's just start. Why should you contact a program official or program staff? Well, we program officials are the guide to your NIH grant success. Who or what is a program official? Well, we are scientists. We have done research. Some of us have been in labs, or well, all of us have been in labs. And but we are also an administrator. Yes, we have to do the paperwork as well. It goes with our jobs. So we are responsible for the programmatic, scientific, and technical aspects of a grant. So what is the benefits of contacting a program official? Well, there are two benefits. The first one is that we have the inside scoop on all things NIH. We can discuss the appropriate grant mechanism for your research ideas and training needs. We can point you in directions of funding opportunity announcements that may be relevant to your needs and research. We know anything and everything about NIH grants policy. So we program officials are the key to opening the black box that we call the NIH grants or granting system. But secondly, contact the PO to develop a relationship. We POs tend to be very possessive. So when you contact us, we get to know you. And if we're helping you to develop your grant application, we really get to know you. And then we become your advocates. So you submit that grant application and you get a competitive score. We're going to be your advocate. We're going to be a champion to have your grant funded because we want your funded grant within our portfolios. How do you find a program official? Well, we're scientists. We go to scientific meetings, so stop by the booth or workshops. Come up and talk to us. We're not very scary. Ask a colleague next door or down the hall. Surely someone knows a program official. And once you talk to a program official, the program official should be able to direct you to the appropriate institute and appropriate PO to further discuss your application. You can always look at our NIH Institute websites and try to navigate through and find PO name there. All program contacts are listed in the funding opportunity announcements. You can start there. And we really want to highlight the NIH Reporter. This is a database of NIH funded grants. So if you go to NIH Reporter and you type in your keywords of your research interests, you will get a list of all funded NIH grants that address that topic. But more importantly, within that information, you will find the name of a program official. So make use of this database to find a program official. We are an important resource for you at the NIH. We are a principal liaison between you, the investigators, you, the investigator, and everything at NIH. So important, contact us early, contact us often. Let us know how we can help you. So let's address several more career development awards. The first thing I've done here is I've placed a typical scenario of various grant mechanisms as you navigate through your stages of your scientific career. On the right side are various training grants, and on the left are the research project grants, the R01. So today I'm going to talk about the Pathway to Independence Award for postdocs, the Mentored Clinical Scientist Development Award, K08, for postdocs and junior investigators, and the Independent Scientist Award for more mid-career investigators. So let's start. What is the K99 RO grant? Well, it's a hybrid. It is a Mentored Career Development Award, that K99 phase, and it can become a research project grant, the ROO. The K99 is the mentored phase for the additional training and career development. It supports 1 to 2 years of additional training, technical training, and please, I'll discuss more, but don't forget the career professional development, the non-research a part of your training in becoming independent. Obviously, it's a provide salary and a small amount of research expenses. I have listed here what we provide at NIDA, but you need to contact the institute itself because these are institute-specific dollar figures. The K9 ROO from the K99 phase with after acceptance of a tenure-track faculty position, you can transition the K99 into an ROO grant. You would terminate the K99 and then submit a modified ROO application. So indeed, the K99 ROO is 2 grants, but it's submitted as 1. The transition to ROO is contingent upon acceptance of a tenure-track faculty position at a research-intensive institution. The whole goal is to help you establish an independent research program. We're going to look to make sure you have a competitive startup package, your progress during the K99 phase, and your plans for the ROO. And the budget is $249,000 per year in total costs, directs and indirect. There are 3 flavors of K99 that I want to point out. The first one is our parent K99 award, and that's meant for general applications to the K99 program. Your eligibility is up to 4 years of total postdoctoral research training. Yes, you need to be a citizen or so, but the uniqueness about the parent K99 is that you can have visa status. but the training and research needs to be done at a U.S. institution. But if you have if you have visa status, you can submit a parent K99 application. And again, it's meant to support training and career development. The second one I want to point out, and the next two are intended to promote diversity. The first one is our Mosaic K99. It also allows up to 4 years of postdoctoral experience eligibility. In this case, you must be a citizen, not citizen national. You cannot apply if you have just visa status. Again, you must meet diversity representation. So within the application, you're going to discuss the candidate's eligibility in meeting diversity requirements, as well as provide a diversity statement of commitment to the future of diversity in biomedical sciences. The uniqueness about the Mosaic is we're also matching up with scientific societies to provide an additional level of mentoring within this K99 program. So we have made awards to various scientific societies. You will be matched up, you will obviously go to their meetings, and you participate in other activities that are conducted through that society as an additional level of training. The third one is the Brain Initiative K99. This allows up to 5 years rather than 4 years of postdoctoral experience. Again, you must meet diversity representation and you must be a citizen. Now, the parent and the Mosaic will entertain any area of research. The Brain Initiative K99, the research has to meet the mission of the Brain Initiative, using techniques through the Brain Initiative, circuitry, and that such. So those are the 3 K99. I want to point out a couple additional eligibility issues for the K99 program. The first one is childbirth. The NIH has a policy for extending your eligibility window for childbirth. Women get an automatic 1-year extension of eligibility for childbirth within that 4-year eligibility window. And men, you also can apply for an extension of eligibility as well. And you simply need to provide the date of birth of your child for the extension. The second eligibility extension concerns the current COVID-19 pandemic. The NIH now has a policy where we are extending your eligibility to submit an application by 2 rounds of review. So in this middle of the table, if your eligibility would be ending for the upcoming June-July submission deadline of K99 applications, you are also allowed to submit an application for the October-November receipt dates, as well as the February-March 2022 receipt dates. Please note that the Brain Initiative, for the Brain Initiative, they've only extended their eligibility through those individuals with the asterisk whose eligibility ended in February, March of 2021. Contact the program contact for Brain Initiative if they are indeed going to extend their eligibility as well. All right, let's transition to the K08. Now, for the K08, you need a clinical doctoral degree, and this supports supervised career development and training in biomedical behavioral research, including translational research. You need to be a US citizen. Now, unlike the K99 ROO, which is 5 years, but you have a 2-year K99 and a 3-year ROO phase, the K08 and the other mentored K awards as well, you can propose a project period for 3 to 5 years. So you intersperse your research with your training goals. All the mentored K awards require 75% effort. And again, salary and research expenses are institute specific. And then lastly, for mid-career, we have the Independent Scientist Award, or the K02. Now, the intent of this is to further enhance and expand the independent research program of investigators. So you, again, need to be a US citizen. The important here is that you should have an ongoing independent research program. So you should have independent peer-reviewed research support, an R01 application or two. And then this award then is intended to further expand the areas of research in your current grant awards. Again, 3 to 5 years of support and 75% effort and salary research expenses institute specific. So here I've just kind of put a summary of these 3 grant mechanisms with the description along the top. Again, the budget, the K99 is broken into 2 versus K08 and K01 is through the whole project period. You have the 2 phases of the K99. You have 3 to 5 years for the other 2. The K02 can be renewed 1 time, but talk to program officials at the Institute about that. Again, no award can be made to a foreign institution. The eligibility, you need to be a citizen, non-citizen, national, permanent resident. For the parent K99 only, you can also have visa status. And for eligibility criteria, again, the K99s have 4 or 5 year postdoc experience limitations. The K08 and K01, you've never had a major grant such as R01 or so. Finally, let's talk about preparing the application itself. The first thing I want to mention is the review criteria. This is very, very important. Okay, the K grant mechanism is not a research project grant, is not an R01 grant. So these are the 5 primary review criteria for K awards and for R awards. If you focus on the research grants, okay, you have the candidate and an investigator at the top, so that's kind of similar between both. And at the bottom, you have the environment and institutional commitment at the bottom, which is similar for both or so. But I want to focus on, for the R's, innovation, significance, and approach. That all addresses the research plan. So our grants, the focus of the review criteria is in the research plan itself. But look at the K Development Awards. The research plan is just one of the 5. Don't forget the importance of mentors and mentoring. Don't forget about your career development goals and how you're meeting those goals and objectives. If you focus on the research plan in a K, you will be dinged. It happens all the time. You could have the best research plan possible, but focus on the mentors and career development plan. Let's talk about mentors for the Mentored Career Development Awards. You have a primary mentor who oversees all aspects of training and career development, coordinates the candidate's activities. You can have as many co-mentors as you want for technical training. Just make sure each mentor has a defined specific role in your training. What is their role? How often are you going to meet with them? How are you going to meet with them? Are you going to go visit their labs? Be specific on the roles of the primary and co-mentors. I'd like to also recommend considering a mentor advisory team. Now, this would be more for your professional development. These individuals do not need to really know your research or understand your research because you're going to use them to obtain advice and guidance towards your professional development. How to run an independent laboratory, how to hire personnel, how to obtain tenure, issues like that, the non-research areas. Mix and match. People at stages of career have different experiences. Select junior, senior faculty members, male, female, ethnicity. They all have specific experience in becoming independent. Of course, mentoring is not required for the ROO. It's only for the K phase, for the K99. And for the K02, rather than being mentored, the K02, we largely ask that the individual become the mentor itself. So for the K99 RO application, rules of thumb, make the reviewers enthusiastic about your need for additional training during the K99 phase. You've got 2 years proposed training that you can accomplish within those 2 years. And also then, you need to make the reviewers enthusiastic about your ability to establish an independent research program that starts with the ROO and that can attract and sustain external funding through that future R01. For the K08 application, it's research and training throughout the project period. One rule of thumb that I say is since you have from 3 to 5 years, what would you propose for an R01 application? What techniques would enhance that project? And what techniques then do you want to learn to enhance that project? Those techniques you want to learn are the additional training, and you have a nice solid R01 project that's going to move the field forward. That's what the reviewers are looking for. Lastly, for the K02, again, you have an independent research program. So the reviewers were going to evaluate how the additional training will enhance your research potential within your program. You want to show that you are indeed leading an independent research program that's adding to the field, knowledge to the field. You will continue to make significant contributions, and you will serve as a mentor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erica Boone, and I am the director for the NIH Division of Loan Repayment, where we administer all aspects of the extramural loan repayment program. And while there are 27 different institutes at NIH that all have differing research foci and priorities, we do have the unified goal of supporting research training and career development for the next phase of the biomedical research workforce, and that includes you. We all understand that debt is one of the top ranked barriers to an individual being able to start or sustain their biomedical research career. And this is where the NIH loan repayment programs can come into help for you. And this is basically how it works. The NIH loan repayment programs are an absolute vital component to our nation's efforts to help keep health professionals such as yourself actively engaged in their research careers. Basically, if you can commit to performing research in an identified mission-critical research area for NIH, we can commit to repaying up to $50,000 per year. That's $100,000 over the course of 2 years in your qualifying educational loan debt. Plus, we'll cover the resulting federal taxes. And we're hoping that that will help to increase our nation's stock of biomedical researchers that are actively engaged in their research careers, that are not only making room and making way for research discoveries that impact this nation, but also across the world. There are currently 6 extramural NIH LRP subcategories. We will briefly and quickly go through each one of them. So the first one is the clinical research LRP, and this is for individuals that are performing more patient-oriented research. The next is the pediatric research LRP, and this is for individuals that are conducting research in areas that are related to diseases and disorders that impact individuals that are age 18 and under. Next is health disparities research LRP. This is for individuals whose research focuses on minority and other health disparity populations. Next is contraception and infertility. As you can probably guess, this is it for individuals whose research is focusing on conditions that impact a person's ability to be able to conceive or bear young, as well as to provide new or improved methods for preventing pregnancy. Next is the clinical research for individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds. This is not focused on a patient population. However, it's focused more on the background of the researchers themselves. So it's exactly the same as the clinical research LRP. However, it's available to clinical researchers who come from verifiably financially disadvantaged backgrounds. If you have more questions about that one, make sure you reach out to my office. Lastly is the research on emerging areas critical to human health, or REACH LRP. This is our newest LRP, and it's going to launch in the fall of 2021. And it basically allows for NIH institutes and centers to focus on existing gap or emerging areas of research for their institutions. Check on our Contact and Engage page for the areas of emerging or gap research for the institutes and centers that you're interested in submitting an application. There are 5 basic eligibility criteria that are associated with the NIH LRPs. The first one is you have to have a doctoral level degree. Now, of course, this is an MD, PhD, or as I say, one of the Ds in between. There are exceptions for 2 of our programs, however. That's the contraception and infertility and the REACH LRP. Next, an individual must be a US citizen or a permanent resident. They must be able to engage in research for at least 20 hours for the entirety of their LRP. So for a first LRP award, those are for 2 years. So you must be able to be engaged in research for 20 hours per week for the entirety of those 2 years. Your educational loan debt must represent at least 20% of your annual base salary, and your research funding and salary support must come from a domestic nonprofit source. There are no exceptions to that. So what are reviewers looking for when they are reviewing your application? They're looking at the components of your application to try to evaluate your potential to succeed in an independent research career. So they're looking at the major sections. They're looking at what you list under your research training and experience section. They're looking at what you're including in your mentoring and training plan or your career development plan. They're reviewing your letters of recommendation. They're really strongly looking at your environment, not only the elements within the environment themselves, but the people that you surround yourself with. They want to make sure that you have developed a really cohesive plan for where you are right now in your academic research career, and then looking forward, and you've added components within it to kind of like ensure your own success. So what are some common mistakes with submission of an LRP application? Well, some of the most obvious reasons are not contacting your program officer prior to submitting your application. Contacting your program officer can really help for you to submit a well-crafted application because you'll have a better understanding of what the institute and center's mission and priorities are and how your research maps onto that. Also, rush preparation is a killer for applications. A questionable research commitment and weak research plan. Also, failure to adequately describe your mentoring and training plan or your research timelines. This can be avoided by working with your mentors to really craft your application prior to submission. Slim publication record. This can be a problem for some people. However, I think that when you're approaching areas in your application that need development or in your career that need development, you should approach them from a more positive standpoint. So instead of saying, I don't have a lot of publications, what you should include within your mentoring and training plan and what your mentors should include within their letter of recommendation is a plan for how you're going to improve in whatever those barrier areas are for you. Also, lukewarm recommendations are a complete kiss of death. It's almost worse than a bad one because your recommenders are people who are going to be kind of standing out front, helping to pave a way for you. They are super invested in your research career development. And if all they can say is that you're a nice person or you brought cookies to lab meeting, that doesn't sound like a lot of support or enthusiastic support. So how do you avoid that? You give your recommender something to go on. You make sure that they have a current copy of your biosketch. As well, you ensure that you ask them to focus on certain areas for you. So for example, if you're collaborating with one of your recommenders on certain areas or specific aims, have them talk about that within the application. It shows that they really know you and they're also really supportive of your research career. Not applying is also a good way to not get an LRP application. So make sure you're applying. Because there are direct personal and career-related benefits to receiving an LRP. First of all, you get relief from tremendous burden of paying back student loan debt. You're at a really vulnerable career decision point right now, and you're probably not super rich. So not having to pay back some of that student loan debt can be a really big relief to your family financially. Also, it gives you the ability to pursue other career-related passions without worrying so much about your salary. It might allow for you to take on another fellowship opportunity or to get other educational or other types of opportunities or to invest in those other areas without having to worry about having to pay back student loan debt. Within the application, your institute will absolutely certify that you have at least 20 hours per week of protected research time. This is absolutely worth its weight in gold. So you're not going to be overly burdened with clinic time. You're not going to be overly burdened with having to teach additional coursework in order to cover your salary because you've got that protected research time is absolutely guaranteed. It also gives you practice and preparation for applying for other NIH grant mechanisms. The format for the LRP always kind of akin it to like a grown-up F or a mini K. The format is exactly the same or very much similar. And this is targeted because we want for you to get in practice of applying for mechanisms here at the NIH. And typically, An LRP award is the first mechanism that an investigator is applying for without real significant input from their mentors. It also gives you added boost to career preparedness and increased productivity over time, and the ego boost that you need to help you to understand that you're in an area that NIH finds to be fundable and of mission priority. So what should you be doing? First of all, make sure that you have an ERA Commons ID as well as a valid password. You cannot start your application without that, which means that you can't submit your application without that. So make sure that you get your ERA Commons ID early and make sure that your password is valid and up to date. Next, review the LRP website and publish notices. You can't play or you can't win if you don't know how to play, right? So review the mission and priorities for the NIH institutes and centers that you're interested in having to review your application. You can't target your application without understanding what the priorities are. Talk to your mentors and recommenders, also LRP ambassadors near you before you submit your application, even before you start. And also contact your lender so that you know how much you actually owe in student loan debt, because you have to list that on your application. So we have lots of different resources. We have our LRP website. We have the contact and engage page within our website. This lists the priority areas as well as the LRP program officers that are affiliated with the loan repayment program within their institutions and centers. They're the people who have the secret sauce. They've got the secret ingredients that you need in order to be able to craft your application. We've got the LRP Ambassador program. These are individuals who have received LRP awards before, and they're so excited about the benefits that they're willing to talk to people who are trying to apply. So they're willing to talk to you about how they approach their application and the components within their application. We have our LRP Dashboard that has lots of interesting information on statistics for the program. As well, the NIH Reporter tool can be really invaluable for you to understand which other institutes and centers are funding research of your interest. So not only you're thinking about your LRP award, you're thinking about your K, you're thinking about your Fs. So utilizing the Reporter tool will give you an opportunity to really kind of figure out where else can I be applying for additional funding support for my research. So in summary, the NIH LRPs will repay up to $100,000 over 2 years in your educational loan debt. And this, of course, depends on your educational loan debt level. We'll cover most of the resulting taxes. The initial contracts are for 2 years. So initial LRP awards are for 2 years. And then you can apply over and over and over for competitive renewal. So an individual can theoretically go from having hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt down to zero. I know you want that to be you. So our overall success rate is about 50%, and the application cycle opens on September 1 and closes on November the 15th. Here are some ways that you can contact the LRPs or get information. Twitter is a great way to keep up with what's going on with the NIH LRPs. My name is Erica Boone. I'm the director for the NIH Division of Loan Repayments. We're hoping to hear from you soon.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Jones-London, Chief of the Office of Programs to Enhance Neuroscience Workforce Diversity at NINDS. Today, I will tell you an overview of NIH diversity efforts and highlight a few specific diversity training programs. When we think about diversity, we often focus on the individual trainee benefits of inclusion. However, we shouldn't lose sight of what diversity means to the larger environment, the lab, the university itself. Having diversity matters to NIH and for the innovation of the entire research enterprise. Advancing the diversity through NIH individual and institutional programs will produce numerous tangible benefits. Some of those including making sure that all of the talented researchers from all the groups are included, improving the educational training environment itself, and facilitating a balanced perspective in terms of setting research priorities. And finally, improving capacity to recruit subjects from diverse backgrounds into clinical research and hopefully helping to eliminate health disparities. Recognizing that we all have a role to play in creating a diverse, inclusive, and equitable research workforce, individuals, institutions, scientific societies, and federal organizations like the NIH recognize we all have a role to play. In early 2021, NIH launched the Unite Initiative. This is an agency-wide effort to end structural racism in biomedical research within NIH and across the extramural research community. You can read more about this effort at the Ending Structural Racism website. The next NIH initiative that I want to highlight is the FIRST program. This program aims to support institutional hiring of a diverse cohort of early stage research faculty and to actually transform culture at NIH-funded extramural institutions by guiding a self-reinforcing community of scientists who are committed to diversity and also inclusive excellence. As a postdoc fellow, for those of you who are listening, I want you to stay tuned and be aware of future awardee institutions. The programs will recruit you for your talent, but are also required to provide environments for inclusive excellence. The next program that I'll highlight that goes across all of the NIH institutes and centers is the Research Supplements to Promote Diversity program. This is an administrative supplement that adds existing funds to NIH research grants, such as RRPs or Us, and it's to fund and bring in and mentor diverse trainees. The trainees can be from anywhere starting at high school all the way to the junior faculty level. The supplement would provide salary and fringe benefits and funds for supplies and travel. The thing that you need to know about this program is that it's often used as a bridge to help that diverse trainee then go on to their own F or K award. Specifically in the space of pain research, you should note that the HEAL program actually has its own research to promote diversity notice, and you'll want to find out if your grant is eligible for this. The next program that I'll highlight is the NIH Blueprint and Brain Initiative Diversity Specialized Pre-Doc to Postdoc Advancement Award. This is one of the transition mechanisms that we have for diverse researchers. This one is focused on graduate students that are about to finish up, 1 to 2 years left. And then what happens is that it has a K00 attached. And that is funding for them once they secure a really promising and mentor team enriched postdoc environment. The slide tells you all of the institutes that participate in this program. The next transitional award goes up a career stage, and it's the K99 R00, our Mosaic program. The Mosaic program supports postdocs for up to 2 years, and then once they secure this junior tenure faculty position, allows them to have the R00. An important note about the Mosaic program is that it's also coupled with a UE5, or Mentoring Network Award. And finally, with the short time that I have, I'll end with showing you just the spectrum of diversity training opportunities that we have at the NIMDS specifically, but note that many other NIH institutes have similar programs. The thing to note here is that as a diverse investigator or as a mentor who has a diverse trainee, there are several opportunities across the career span to allow you to mentor, get the career development that you need, and also the research training experience. The message really is that at NIH, and specifically at NIMDS, we never consider diversity being the problem. It's always the solution to solving really difficult research questions and challenges. Please feel free to use my contact information.
The NIH Pain Consortium wants to thank all the speakers for participating in today's webinar series. Do you want to do some quick housekeeping items before the Q&A session starts? Dr. Jones-London was unable to join us for the Q&A section. However, if you have any questions for her, please write them in the chat box and she will answer the questions after this webinar, and we'll incorporate her answers into our written Q&A section on the NIH Pain Consortium website. Also, Dr. Boone from Loan Repayment is unable to join us today, but our colleague, Dr. Lockhart, is here to answer your questions about loan repayment. Dr. Lockhart, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming. And now we'll go into our Q&A session. All the panelists should have the ability to raise their hands in Zoom. We have been having a very lively discussion in the Q&A box. So please note that Dr. Sorensen and Dr. Lockhart have responded to some questions that have already been asked in the Q&A section of Zoom. And if you're interested in seeing those answers, please go to the answer tab under the Q&A button. And if people have any follow-up questions based on their answers, please feel free to submit another question or raise your hand. And with that, we will start taking some questions. And so speakers, please feel free to turn on your camera. The first question we have looks like it's for Dr. Sorensen. For the K02, do we need to have a certain NIH grant? What is the difference from a K01?
Okay, so for a K02, you need to have an ongoing independent research program. You really should have a R01 or equivalent research support. And you should have long enough support, because what you're doing with the K02 is enhancing that grant, your independent research program. So you're enhancing that R01 research project by, for example, bringing in another technique or approach to further expand the scientific goals and scope of your project, in a sense. Now, K01 is totally for mentoring. All right, so you have a primary mentor, you have co-mentors. It is all about the additional training that you need to further enhance your skill set. You're going to be devoting, with a mentored career development award, such as a K01 or a K08, you are going to devote the first 3 years essentially towards that additional training and learning techniques as you're doing the research, a research that allows you to learn that training. Towards the end, you can then submit applications, research project applications, R21, R01. So for the mentor, we really want you to focus for the initial few years on gaining that additional training to enhance your skill set.
Great, thank you for that answer. The next question that's come in is, what are the requirements for an early stage development research?
Early, so would that be like, so an R01 is grant application where you use your early stage investigator, new investigator status. And that's where during review, early stage investigator, new investigator, R01 applications are reviewed as a group separately from R01 applications from established investigators. And there, the reviewers are told that for early stage investigator, you may not have as much preliminary data as you would as an established investigator, for example. So the reviewers are aware of your career status, and that's where you use your early stage investigator, new investigator status with the R01.
Thank you. And the next question that we have, the 4-year limit for the K99 is considered as the time period after the PhD degree was granted or the official postdoctoral fellowship position was given.
My experience is that it appears to be institute specific, and thus you want to talk to the program official at the institute that's relevant to your research interests and goals. I can tell you, we at NIDA, we look at just your period where you can say, I had the title of postdoctoral researcher. So if you obtained your terminal degree, your PhD degree in April, but you didn't start a postdoc until June, we would say your time clock started in June. I know other institutes have different rules and regulations, so please contact the institute for their specific policies.
Great, thank you. And I think, Ina, if you can unmute, I see that you were also starting to answer this question.
Yes, hello. Just wanted to endorse the previous answer. Yes. So for example, if you finished your PhD and then you had some traveling or some family time, you didn't start your position, then this time period between your dissertation defense and the position is not counted in this window of your eligibility.
Okay, and that's, you're from NCCIH, so just
Correct.
that people have that answer from NCCIH. Great, thank you
Right.
both for that
Right.
answer. Okay, and we do
Correct.
have a question for Dr. Jones-London, but one of our colleagues at NINDS, who's a program officer, will jump in for this. So I'll read out the question and then DP, I'll let you jump in. Are there any diversity initiatives within NINDS/HEAL for the R series grants?
Yes, yeah, so there are diversity supplements which you can apply if you have a R series grant through HEAL. So, so I can copy paste the notice number there. It's actually NOT NS 20107. So, so there, this is a HEAL initiative supplement to increase diversity. So people who have HEAL initiative grants in R series, so they can apply. And in NINDS, people who have like investigators who have R series grants, they can apply for diversity supplements through the F31 and F32 mechanisms. So we would really encourage the PIs to communicate with the program officials to know details about this.
Great, thanks DP for that answer, we really appreciate it. Okay, keep the questions coming, guys. So the next question we have is a K08 question. So for a K08, if I have a master's in PT, I've been a PT for 18 years, and I have a PhD, do I qualify for this mechanism?
So the K08 is meant for individuals who have a clinical doctorate degree. And with there, you can, get training in any techniques, methods, approaches that you want. So that's what we're looking for. That is the emphasis in having that advanced degree. Having a master's does not qualify. We're looking for a degree where you can become independent. And so with a PhD, clinical doctorate degree, MD, you would be expected to, once you complete your training, to move on to establish an independent research program. That might not be expected with having a master's, no matter how long you've had it.
Great, thank you for that answer. The next question is actually about a K01. And so just for everyone who's on this webinar, we did talk about the K01 in webinar 1. So please feel free to go to our webinar 1 that's posted on the NIH Pain Consortium website to look at a little bit more information about the K01. But I'll still ask the question, will not having a postdoc appointment count against an applicant for a K01 award?
So as a postdoc, you are allowed to apply, obviously, for the K99 ROO programs, and you can apply for the Mentor K awards, the K01, the K08, and K23, which I'm not sure if we talked about it as well. So you want to be in a training, and again, going back to my previous answer, to the potential to move on to become independent. I know sometimes you have to discuss with your institution when you are a postdoc, whether or not the institution would allow you to submit a K01 application. NIH policy says that as postdoc, you can submit an application, but you need to have the commitment from the institution to support your training, which is why I mentioned that. So make sure that your primary mentor is on board, that the chair of the department is on board to support your training as a K01 and moving forward towards independence.
Great, thank you. And I know you mentioned the K23 The K23 was also discussed in webinar 1. So if people are interested in learning a little bit more about the K23, please go back to the webinar 1 on the NIH Consortium website. Okay, next question. Could you apply for the K02 as a co-PI with someone who does have an R01?
So I would say I would not recommend that. So the K02 is to further support your independent research program. All right, so you should have the independence research program that you're trying to enhance. If it's an R01 from somebody else, then are you enhancing your program or their program? The reviewers would look at that, and that would not be very favorable. So yeah, for K02, make sure you have the support because it's your program you're building on.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question is there a K01 support under HEAL? To the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware of a K01 under support of HEAL, but we do have some more program officers on the line to see if they are aware of a K01 supported under HEAL.
Yeah, I don't think we have any K01 under HEAL at present. Yeah, that's what best of my knowledge so far.
Okay, so not as of now, everyone. So what I did answer a question in the chat about HEAL funding opportunities. So if you are interested in HEAL funded opportunities or any open announcements, please check out the HEAL funded open announcement website. We do periodically update that website. So if something hits the street, you know, it's always to your advantage to be checking that open announcement. Okay, so the next question that we have here is, what kind of grant can you receive if you're getting a GED or a high school diploma, or is that even possible?
So yeah.
Go ahead, Roger.
Go ahead. Please, no, help yourself. That's all right. Go ahead.
No, my knowledge is relatively limited since you are here for a long time. I would rely on your knowledge expertise here. Yeah.
So it is not possible with the high school diploma. Now, the NIH, if you're interested in the NIH, we have various training programs, support programs. Institutes are always trying to help people who are interested in science to come on and do research. We have programs of working in our intramural laboratories. We have programs that will provide support to a principal investigator to bring you on into the lab to work with them for a summer period or what have you. So you want to talk to the institutes. Essentially, the first grant program would be when you were a graduate student, and we have the NRSA predoctoral fellowship grant award programs. And that would be the first type of extramural program for individuals.
Yeah, I'll just add that, yes, every locality where you are living, the universities or research institutions, you can find some of those programs there, summer internships or winter internship, but there is no centralized grant mechanisms for that. Yeah.
Then Ina, did I see, were you trying to speak as well?
Yes, I just wanted to add also that NIH and different institutes have the NIH internship program for summer for high school students. So this there is a pool of students, and then different labs in the intramural programs can pull out the candidates who are interested in this type of research. There are paid summer programs. So I would encourage those who are interested to go to the website under NIH Student Opportunities and see what is available in the post-COVID times.
Great, thanks, Ina. And what do you also want to jump in?
Yes, just want to add one point. For any of those opportunities, especially summer training opportunities, the key there is the early in advance. For example, right now it's already in June, And at least in our institute, all the summer training opportunity, all slots are filled already. And probably you may consider to start at least some more either at the end of February or early of March.
Great, thank you. And DP, I saw that you raised your hand. Do you want to jump in again?
Yeah, I just pasted the link. So in fact, NINDS has one supplement program where high school students can apply. Within a couple of specific, like one to promote diversity in health related research. So we do have one supplement program. I just pasted the link there. So I would encourage go through that link. So that's something where high school students can enter.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for putting that in there. And I think our colleague Andrew also added a similar link to one of the questions. So if you guys are interested in this, any of the attendees, please feel free to check out that link. Not seeing any questions, so I'm gonna give us just a couple more moments to see if anybody else has any questions that they'd either like to put in the chat, or if they'd like to raise their hands. And while we're in this kind of session of waiting to see if any other questions come in, I want to see if any of the program officers on the line have any IC specific comments about these grant mechanisms, or also Dr. Lockhart. I know you're with us with LRP. I know that you had already answered an LRP question, but if you guys have any general comments or questions you'd like to say, feel free to jump in now.
Hey, Laura, I think there is a hand raised.
Oh, the hand raised as I was talking.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I think there is one attendee with a hand raised.
Okay,
So,
yeah, so I'll jump to that. And then another question has come in about LRP. So Florence, Lingo, do you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, I was wondering, what was that link? I can't find the link in the chat or whatever that you're saying to go to for the high school.
Yeah,
high school
sure.
Okay, let me put it here again.
Where do I go to for it? I don't see where it's at. I'm sorry.
Let me, can I put it in a question? No, I cannot, right?
No, so if you look at the Q&A tab,
Yeah.
there's an open tab, an answer tab, and a dismiss tab. So under the answer tab, under your question about what kind of grant can you receive if you're getting a GED or a high school diploma. Or
Oh, okay. Okay, I see it. Okay,
no
thank
problem.
you.
No problem, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and so then the next question that's come in is about LRP. So does the LRP renewal pay any additional 100K? So Dr. Nafi, do you want to answer that question? Or it looks like maybe you just answered it and it is in the text. So I will read that answer out loud. For the LRP renewal awards, the repayment amount is equal to 1/2 of the remaining educational debt at the start date of the renewal award. So up to $50,000 per year. So if people have any additional questions about that, please feel free to jump in. And then DP, did you raise your hand again?
Yeah, just wanted to again reiterate for multiple K99 R00 programs. So Brain Initiative has also a specific K99 R00. I think Michelle also touched on that. So that's to increase diversity. So that's where all the pain researchers working on the central brain mechanisms or brain side, so they could also utilize that, just to reiterate about that program.
Yeah, so that program was mentioned in both of two of the talks today. So please feel free, if you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out to program staff, and we will be posting this webinar in about 2 weeks. So you will be able to check that information again that we just presented to be able to build off of it. And so as we are waiting for, just to check to see if any other questions come on in, I do want to bring all of the attendees' attention to the chat box. There is a survey that we would love to have you fill out about the feedback of this webinar and any advice you would have for us about how to enhance these webinars. And it looks like we do not have any other questions and nobody has raised their hands. So we may wrap up a little bit early today. So I really want to thank all the speakers and program staff for answering questions. I want to thank the attendees for attending today's meeting. We really appreciate the time and effort it took to come to this meeting. And again, I think the message is, please feel free to reach out to your program staff often, frequently. We are not scary people. We would love to talk to you and try and answer your questions. Okay, I don't see any more questions. So thank you all for your participation. And please feel free to reach out to any of us. It's easy to get our emails. And we look forward to seeing you next month. Greg, if you could pull up that last slide. What we'll have just posted for a moment is the future webinars. The next meeting is going to be on July 8th. It's going to be talking about institutional training grants. So if you have any interest, please feel free to register. And we do have a number of more webinars going into 2022. As I'm looking, we have a typo, but we look forward to seeing all of you in the future sessions. Take care, everyone. Bye.